What is up, Light Fighters? Welcome back to the channel. This is Light Fighters Anonymous. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I am going to be very confused.
Based upon space weather, solar activity, and
Space weather.
Space weather.
Everyone knows there's no weather in space. Because we are talking about radios. My theory about radios is these run on magic, but I brought along my friend here, Lima Foxtrot, in your comment section or at Midwest Deplorables on YouTube to learn what I can about being an RTO and field radio use.
Eagle 2, this is Light Fighter 1-1. How copy? Over.
Contact!
1-1, this is Eagle 2, good copy, send traffic, over.
Good luck.
All right, so this is your RTO bag. You've got this set up and everyone on the internet loves talking about gear. So let's real quick talk about this bag, how you've got it set up for, you know, our weekend patrols here today. And
Right.
then just obviously talking to, I don't know, Martians, whatever we're gonna do.
Right. So I guess the most important thing to point out is that, I mean, we are going into winter right now, and this pack is nowhere near big enough to carry everything
Yeah.
for winter, much less carrying stuff, radio stuff, plus stuff for winter, right?
Yeah.
But kind of regardless of season, if you're going to be an RTO with a team, you're probably going to get into a situation where you're going to have to cross load some stuff with some other people. Because what you're going to see with how I have my bag here today, it's close to 60 pounds. I don't have any extra ammunition other than the 9 mags I have in my DZ rig.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any extra water, so I'm
Yeah.
only carrying 2 quarts in my fighting load. And I have a very minimal sleep system with me that would not be good for tonight, right?
Yeah.
So
And it's gonna rain on us for the rest of the day and into the night tonight.
right. So if I was by myself with this, like, I am inadequately prepared even for a 24-hour patrol.
Okay.
So I would be asking people to cross load a couple things.
Yeah.
right?
You pulled off your schmuck, and I just saw you pull off. Shout out to Crossfire, your CF1 kind of day pack. Anything specifically load out in the day pack relevant to radio?
no.
Or just kind of just your.
You know, I just usually strap at a minimum an empty day pack to the outside of my ruck,
Okay.
just in case we're going to drop ruck, only carry ammunition, water, and some basic stuff. I have like 100 different ways to do antennas, so this is just the way I brought today.
And this is a cool way, and we're going to
Yeah.
cover this in depth because I don't even like radios, and I want one of these. It's so neat.
Before anybody asks, this is a discontinued Eberly stock pack built on an ancient Alice frame that you can't buy anymore, so don't ask me what it's
Too
called,
cool for you.
because I don't even remember what it's called.
All
You
right.
know, this we'll go over in a little bit is a 40-foot telescoping fiberglass mast. This is how we are going to get our antenna up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You could, of course, just avoid this altogether and bring some string and a weight and throw it up into a tree branch
Yeah.
and probably do okay. So this is optional, but nice to have.
Yeah.
In your video where we went out to the National Forest and did mesh-tastic, you know, we just sent this up into the sky and taped your mesh-tastic to the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always keep it rigged up with guy lines so that we can just rig it up real quick.
Cool. We'll cover that in a little more detail. We'll get a zoom in on that and stuff because you got a pretty nice little setup there.
Right. Poncho liner, because you're not supposed to, my mom told me not to ever leave home without that.
There you go.
So ghetto warming layer, which is just an old, I just put that under my field jacket instead of bringing a Gore-Tex jacket
Absolutely.
that makes me sweat. I usually carry a walking stick. I use this as the front pole for my tarp shelter.
Which we might need to set up here in a little bit.
And, you know, when you're almost 40 years old, sometimes you get an ouchie, and having a stick to help you walk is nice.
There you go.
So, you know, it's lightweight. On the front, this is the tarp shelter just in case it starts raining later.
Okay.
And I think that's like a United States Marine Corps sustainment pouch or whatever it is.
I actually have a couple of those pouches. They're awesome. And they're
Nice.
cheap. You can get them on Amazon, I think.
So this is the largest HF radio I own and the heaviest. So of course this
So
is
this
the
is
one
what
I
you brought?
Yeah, this is the biggest and the heaviest. And we'll go over what that is in just a
Takes
second.
up the entire
But this is why it's awful to be in charge of radios,
goodness.
because this is a lot of stuff to carry. So you really have to have a reason why you're bringing radios don't just bring them for fun because it's horrible.
Well, I mean, little handhelds are
Yeah.
easy, but and if you need HF,
Yeah, real radios is what I'm talking
real,
about. here.
okay,
Yep.
real. Oh man, another slight. That's
You're gonna have to
radio
carry a
slight.
bunch of coax.
Okay.
You know, radio coax is different than TV coax, but if you're a radio guy, you know that. This is the first antenna we're going to set up.
Okay.
If you are looking for a field HF antenna, and this could just be if you're running like a $40 SDR and you're just listening, you know, or if you want to transmit, I highly recommend Chameleon antennas.
Okay.
They are not the best antenna at all. They are a gigantic compromise.
Okay.
Right? This is like a Swiss Army knife of antennas. What is a Swiss Army knife good at?
I've already got a video of shitting
Nothing.
on people's Leathermans.
Right.
And
Yeah, they're not good pliers,
No.
they're not good
Terrible.
knives, but if you can only have one, then you bring a multi-tool.
Yep.
Right? So that's what this is.
Okay, and that's for HF, or will it
HF.
do all sorts of different things? You
This
said
will is a very broadband antenna, but this is
broadband
just
HF. Okay.
HF.
Oh no, look at that.
You're gonna have to have some sort of a battery.
Okay.
We are blessed in 2024 for small children mining lithium for us,
Shit.
so that you can get some really nice batteries that don't weigh very much.
There you go.
You know, this is like 20 of the old military radios that you would have to
Really?
carry. Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We could
How
do
many D batteries is this that I threw away
A
in the
million.
field at
a million.
CMTC?
That is 1 million D cell batteries.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know, a lot.
It might as
Okay.
well be.
12-volt battery though, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then that's
Yep.
because the radios run on 12 volt. Do any
That's
of them run
correct.
on any other voltage like 24 or anything crazy?
12 volts is pretty much the standard for all radio communications.
Okay. I know
equipment.
some military trucks are 24 volt for some reason, and I didn't know
Yeah.
if that got weird on
It
military. All right, it
It-
depends.
100% can get weird.
All right, what else you
Yep.
got?
Random wires.
What's that for?
You never know.
Okay,
Yeah.
just
This
wire.
is the 550 cord of the RTO
There's a
world.
radio world. All right.
Is random wires.
What
that
what ohm or gauge is that? Just for reference, if I was going to buy that or try to be an RTO.
does not matter.
Okay, just anything. All right.
Whenever you're dealing with a radio that's 100 watts or less, you can get the Itius Bitius wire, and you're probably going to be fine.
Okay, cool.
You're going to have a random bag of things.
Let's open a random bag of things. Tell me more.
So I keep my microphone in here for the radio.
Okay.
I have perpetual ringing in my ears because hearing protection is important. So I keep earbuds
Okay.
so that I can actually hear people on the radio. Power cable for the radio. You know, if you're going to be the radio guy because you hate yourself, you should have, if you're already carrying 12 volt batteries, you should have a lot of things you can do with this. So like this is a special cable I made that we can literally plug anything into with the, I think you said you've used these connectors.
What are
wiring your house.
Wagos?
Wagos.
Yeah.
So it's like anything that runs off 12 volts, I can cut those wires, strip it, stick the wires in here, and we can power it.
Okay.
I have cables so that we can charge our Android devices. If we're testing out the ATAC stuff, we can charge anything 5 volts, so cell
USB-C.
phones, anything USB-C, right?
Cool.
We can charge with the stuff that I
Everything
carry.
should be USB-C.
Yeah, because if you're
Keep it simple.
carrying a battery, then make it do like 10 things for you, right? So you should be prepared just to charge random things and devices. If you look at pretty much any military radio manual published since the Vietnam War, it's going to reference something called a Cobra head connector.
Mm-hmm.
In modern vernacular, these are called binding post connectors.
Okay. And is this to make a jungle antenna?
You can make any type of antenna you want to with
Okay,
this,
cool.
is the shortest answer to that question.
And what are those called again one more time?
If you're reading a manual, it's going to be called a Cobra head
head, yeah.
connector. If you're trying to buy them off of Amazon, they're probably going to be called binding post connectors.
Okay.
And there's just wonderful radio people on YouTube that will tell you what to do.
Cool.
You know, electric tape, because if we're going to set up this antenna for a couple days and it's going to rain, I'm going to waterproof the connectors.
All right.
Things will break. You'll want to tape it, you know, whatever happens.
Absolutely.
Random adapters that, you know,
Coax adapters and
Yeah.
stuff.
that just solve problems.
All those letters B and C, SMA,
Right. Everything.
PTLA.
So that when someone shows up with
DHTLS.
something and it doesn't work, I can make it work no
Okay.
matter what.
Cool.
This is a GPS device because whenever we get into fancier stuff like sending digital messages to each other over HF radio or email, our radios, like I send stuff to a guy in Virginia all the time. And our radios, our computers have to be set up to the exact same time sequence. So military HF radios have GPS receivers built into them to negotiate that time sequence problem, which has more to do with their ALE systems than anything else. But anyway, you need a way to make the clock on your laptop correct.
Okay.
Exactly correct.
Exactly correct.
So we're using GPS to sync our time.
Space time.
Magic space time.
Confused emoji over my head there. I just popped.
Oh, and then paper. You're always going to need paper and pen.
To poop, right?
Because if you're not writing down what's happening on the radio, I don't even know why you're on the radio.
Okay.
So
I got a steel trap up here, man.
Always paper and pen.
All right, so you got your big old HF radio here pulled out.
And if you have a rucksack and it has a radio pouch, like I know Crossfire has maybe optional radio pouch.
They've got the little thing that hangs in there.
It's all going to fit something like a 117 Golf military radio, which is approximately the size of this Yaesu 710. This is a ridiculously large radio to be carrying around in the field.
Yeah.
There are smaller solutions than this.
I hope it's got a projector and we can watch VHF tapes on it.
But you might have noticed I had my warming layers on top of my ruck instead of the bottom, and that's to protect the knobs and screens on top of the radio.
Okay. And also this bracket, does this come with this cool OD green bracket?
No, this is made by a company called Portable Zero.
Okay.
There's a couple of really cool companies, Portable Zero. The other one's called Armalock, I think, which is more of a cage type of a thing.
But they make protection for your HF
much
radios.
More expensive. But so yeah, when you're spending $1,000 or whatever for a radio, don't break it. But the important thing about this radio is that it does a full 100 watts.
Okay.
Because I could bring out a radio out here that fits in an Altoids tin. And it's super fun just to sit in the woods and waste your weekend playing on the radio on it, but you're not doing anything useful. You know, military HF radios, a lot of the classic ones you might have played with go up to like 40 watts. Not great. All of those radios are from a time when everyone knew CW, Morse code.
Okay.
Right? And it's like if you went to radio school, if you're going to be an RTO, you learned Morse code. And you can run with much less power with Morse code. If you're using a microphone and voice, you need 100 watts. Okay. It's not really a debatable thing with me. It might be with other people. But,
comment section will tell you you're an idiot.
Yeah, but you can definitely get smaller radios.
They're really mean to me.
Watts. Yeah. My other radio is having some things done to it right now, so it's not with me. I don't think I have any other radio stuff in here.
Okay, just toothpaste and some underwear, some standard stuff.
So if the radio doesn't work...
Hell yeah, brother.
If the radio doesn't work, we have chem sticks, flares,
fire-making materials.
And we have aerial star cluster flares.
Absolutely. Rock on, life fighters, dude. Even the radio guys know. See, even the radio guy knows that when this shit breaks, we can shoot and fire into the sky and beat our chest and beat our drum on our mountaintop.
Absolutely. So if you see the star clusters...
and you hear the war drum...
that means that the magic did not work. You know, radio hasn't worked very well for a while because the Aztecs stopped sacrificing people to the sun gods.